there, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a minute since I've made a video, but I am ready to jump back in. Want to get this guide track done, get this song out of the way, start on the next song that I wrote that I'm starting to feel better about. When I work on it at night, I feel like it's starting to evolve into something that I could record, and then hopefully have one or two more that knock my socks off, and then I can wrap the record and move to the next steps. So this song is critical for me because I think people have reacted to it in a positive way, and I can tell that it's one of the more standout tracks that I've done overall for this record. So I didn't want it to suffer. The other recording was just a lot of noise. If you don't get this right, that noise ratio is just off. If it really starts with the drums. If the drums aren't correct, and from there it just gets worse. So that's why I'm in here making sure that these drums are going to sound good. We're going to have this guide track, and what the guide track does is it gives me something to play the drums to. I've done it before where I've recorded the guitar, and every once in a while it just calls for that, and you'll know when. But in this case, the song is 4/4. Been doing a lot of 6/8 lately, but this song is back to 4/4. The first two songs I wrote for the album are 4/4, and the next 5 have been 6/8. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but I think the two can go together okay on a record. But the 4/4 approach is much easier because you have the metronome here. I can listen to it, making the clicking noise. I think I've got it. We'll get into that in a second. But what I do here, very simple, and you could do this with a piano, with a guitar. I do it with guitar because my stuff is guitar based, but it would work with other instruments as well. Is what I'm doing is I've got the song, I've written the song, right? The song is like, okay, but I've got to play that on time, I've got to play that on exactly on the metronome so that the drums will stay on beat. And I don't want to rush it, I don't want to slow it down, so I'm going to be paying close attention both to the visual, the light that's on the machine, the little red light where it says tempo, and then also in the headphones I'll have the clicking going. Let's see what it says here. It's under Tool, so if you go to Tool and hit metronome, it'll say, I've got mine on bell, so I've got it on the bell tone. Other people may have theirs on something else that they prefer. It seems to me like that bell tone works pretty well. Get all my hair out of the way before I put these on. And then I turned up the sound to like 60. This is a single coil guitar, so it doesn't overwhelm with loud output. So I turned it up so that it would be sitting above the guitar a little bit, kind of like a drum kit would be in your ears if you were tracking with a drummer. Okay, and then the effect. So first thing, let me just check before we move on. I'll show you all the stuff I've done. So we went to the metronome, got that going. Then in Tool, I went to Tuner, and this guitar lives in E flat almost all the time because that's the stuff I'm playing and I'm writing in. I just like it. I like to play this guitar tuned down. So I had to tune it up. So I bet it's not holding tune that well just because, and you should be hearing it. Hopefully you can hear that. Yeah, it's coming through, good. Inexplicably, it's just in tune. This guitar is such a great guitar. It's really just been a beautiful guitar. Everything I wanted it to be, sound-wise, just holds up. Always is in tune. It's just real Tool, amazing guitar. Okay, so I've got the metronome in place. It's going to make sound. I've got my tuner on. Let me check levels. So I'm going to go to Pan EQ at track 1. I'm going to go down and make sure I'm at 100. And then I'm going to make my way all the way over to the master and make sure that's at 100. And it's at 107. So it doesn't really matter. The sound quality of this is not critical. Now I'm going to go back to my original track 1, and stay there. Okay, the sound quality is not the issue. It's the staying on beat. Staying on tempo. So if it doesn't sound good, if it's distorted or whatever, I'm not using this. I'm just using it, like I said, as a guide track. later I'm going to record with microphones in front of my cabinet, blah blah blah. So sound quality is not an issue. What's an issue is you have to be able to play on beat and successfully get yourself through the arrangement so that the drums can seamlessly also record and get all the way through the arrangement. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken my little notebook here and I've just got the arrangement written down. I've got intro one time, verse one time, back to the intro, verse 2, a chorus, you do that 2 times, a solo space, which is just the verse music, you do that 2 times, you go back to the verse, play that 1 time, chorus 2 times, and then the outro 2 times. And those 1 time and 2 times denote 4 times of the thing that I'm doing, or 8 times. So it just keeps it all even, makes sense as a thematic structure or as a song structure. Okay, so I've got the little blinking light to look over at. I've got the clicking in my ear. I don't think that's going to come through on the amplifier, luckily, so that's kind of sounds terrible. So once again, it won't be like a sound quality thing, but you'll be able to hear what I'm doing. Let's see if I can turn it up just a little, just so it's a little louder. Okay, and the effect was in clean. It's number 3, Vox Crunch. The ones that are distorted, they call distortion, just were so distorted. I just decided to use that one. Okay. The only complication of this, alright, so let me just go through everything I've done so far. I'm plugged into track 1 with the guitar. I'm going to have the guitar turned all the way up. I've got the track engaged, so the red light is on. Over in 7, I've got that light on as well, and the gain knob turned quite a bit up, and I've got the microphone switched to on. And the reason I've got that on is because this has a little funky intro where I hit a note and go down with the whammy bar, with the trem bar, and I take it all the way down and come back up, and then the drums are supposed to come in at a certain point, and I've got to give myself some kind of cue, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be a stick click, when I'm actually doing the drumming, so that I'll stay on beat. So you'll notice me saying 1, 2, 3, 4, that's why. And I've got the record light on number 1 and number 7 because of that. The number 1 gain is like around 10. The number 7 gain is around 2. High Z is on the track because it's coming through a low output signal, a guitar that's doesn't have any, it's not active. The other thing I have to be aware of when I really track this is not bumping into this pickup selector. Like when I press down and then go like that, I don't want to hit it. Also, while I'm strumming, I'm going to be more towards the neck pickup because that's the pickup I'm playing on, and I don't want to bump into this once again and knock it out of its position, midway through. That would suck. Okay, so hopefully there isn't much to this as long as I just stay on beat and don't screw up the arrangement. So I'm going to be looking at that piece of paper. I'm going to be checking my red light. I'm going to be listening. So once I start it, it'd be like a 1, 2, 3, 4 count in my head. I'm going to hit the note, wait for the smoke to clear, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start it. So let's let it rip. I'm going to drink water real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I got it together enough to get this down. Alright, so guitar goes first. And headphones. Okay. Okay, hopefully that's coming through loud and clear. Let me take it back to the beginning. Got my 2 tracks engaged. I've got everything set where it needs to be. The levels are correct. Sorry, getting this stuff probably, oh, I bet it's paint from my drumsticks. Those Steve Gadd black drumsticks. Okay. All right, here we go. Record play. Sorry, this may take a minute just to get comfortable. One, two, three, four. So I just let it go to 330 because the guitar was sustaining, still was sustaining, because it's a great guitar. All right, so now I'm going to just check this really quickly and make sure it's correct. Off camera, it'll take too long to do it, too boring. But I just want to make sure that it lines up with the arrangement, and then make sure it's a good take, because that's the first one, and you know, it could suck. All right, hold on one second. Okay, that original take that I just did was fine, but I decided on the end, I was getting confused about how many times to do the outro, and I wanted it to total 8 times, and I think that time it totaled 9 times. So I went back and did it, and then another time I got it to do 7 times. Ugh, counting skills are bad, mainly because I was trying to focus on staying on beat. So then I start counting and I get distracted, or I try to sing along inside my head, which will really, you know, sometimes throw off the tempo. just because then you start focusing on the wrong thing. But I think I got it right. You can hear me say 1, 2, 3, 4 in the break, because that's what I'm going to line up my stick clicks to. The tempo was 138. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It's almost 140, so it's, you know, kind of gallops along. I usually do stuff between 100 and 140. Seems to be about where my tempo rests. But this one's 138, and I think it worked. So now what I do, take the headphones, take the Zoom back there with my drums. Now over, this is Friday night, over, you know, Saturday, Sunday, I will be practicing along to this track, and hopefully can go ahead and nail it, because while I was doing this I was like, wow, it's a lot of work to do any little bit of this, just do one tune. That's why it takes me so long to make a record, because each step takes a long time, and if you don't have time to just sit and devote to it, and even if you did, I think it has a way of you have to kind of break it up a little bit, because each part has to be learned and thought of. You know, it's not like you can just start doing it. You've got to, you know, figure out the drum part, then track that, then figure out the guitar part, track that, then figure out the bass part, track that. It's kind of a weird way to do things, especially if you haven't had a lot of time with the song. So it takes forever. So when I was doing this part, I was like, man, this is a lot of work to have to go back and re-record something. So the moral of the story is try to get it right the first time, so you don't have to go back, because it's a real pain. All right, so hopefully this showed you a little bit of something in case you're trying to do the one-man band thing and you need to lay something down, you know, the arrangement of the tune, then track drums to it, or whatever you're tracking. You could be doing keyboards or, you know, something else, who knows, synthesizer, beats, all kinds of crazy stuff out there that's different from just the usual guitar and bass drum type deal. All right, so hopefully no matter what you're tracking, no matter what you're doing, it's working out for you. You feel productive, you feel like your music is going in the right direction, you feel like you're doing whatever you're doing to get the music, you know, heard. Hopefully all of that is going well. And if there's anything I can do as far as, like, you know, recording assistance, like as far as the Zoom goes, or who knows what else, just contact me through the site. All right, next time.